Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Try Policy here. In today's video, I'll be trying to create a command line quiz using TypeScript. So this is me trying to learn TypeScript again with a new episode. So I've been trying different I've been looking for different ways to to do this TypeScript thing, but with command line. I tried the node part. It was a bit tedious for me because I need to write a whole lot of boilerplate. But luckily for me, I found this one here. It's npm, it's Inquirer, that's the name. So we're just going to go to the GitHub immediately, read some documentations and see how we can implement, because I already have a bit of quiz that I'll be wanting to, use in with the inquiry. So without any further ado, let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is to figure out how this works, right? So if we move to this part here, we see that we have the inquiry package. All right, we have the installation, we have npm install inquirer /prompt. So I'm just going to copy this, and I don't have anything installed now. If I go to my package.json, I only have types node and TypeScript installed. That's the only thing I have. So I'm just going to come here now and install this also, right? I'm just going to install this that we just copied from the GitHub. So while this is installing, we should just quickly read up on it and see how it works, so we can take an input, right? So we could take input from it, and it says import input from at inquiry input, and then we need to see documentation maybe. Okay, this is documentation for input. So you say, well, after installing, say import input, and then you say it's an async, so you await it. You await the input, and then you set the message to the person or back to the client who is going to be using it. So let's see. Okay, so this is installed now. So we have it in my package.json, which is good. That's the only thing we'll be needing. Right, we just want to keep it very simple. So it says we're going to import from at inquiry, right? And the first thing I want to check is we have the input. Okay, so I'm just going to import the input, and then right here, I want to say const, right? The answer that's going to be returned back to us, and then we want to await, like they said, we want to await input like this, and I think input is going to be an object, right? Here we have a message, we have a lot of things, we have theme, transformer, right? We have validate, but here we're going to be using the message and say, what is your name? Okay, now after that, we want to console.log the answer to see what the user's answer is going to be. So we're just going to come here and say answer, right? I think that should be it. So let's compile these. I'm just going to come here and say npx, right, txt, if I'm right. So this is going to compile it and give us a dist folder here, and then we're going to run the dist folder, say node dist / I think app.js, yes, app.js, that's the entry point there. So it's going to ask what is your name. Let me zoom in a bit. So this is asking in the command line now, what is your name, because that's what we asked here, right? So the name I put here now is supposed to show here. I'm going to say retry policy, try policy. So we see retry policy. So we could do a lot of things with these. We can say please subscribe to my YouTube channel called, all right? So please subscribe to my YouTube channel called. I'm just going to come here, use the backticks, right, and then pass the answer to it. All right, now we have to compile these again. So I'm just going to clear this off and say npx tsc. So I'm compiling this again for the second time, and then I say node, right, and we go to the dist / app.js. So what is your name? So I'm just going to come here and say retry policy. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel called Retry Policy. So we see how the input works, really straightforward, right? We have all the things we could do. We could do the select, right? We could do checkbox. Let's quickly see how the checkbox, I think checkbox is if you want to, do multiple selections, right? If multiple selections matters, that's when you can use the checkbox, right? And then you could do confirm, or how confirm works. And then let's see confirm. Let's see how the confirm works. I think we need to also import that we import confirm, and then we say confirm continue. All right, so we're just going to come here, right here, and then we're going to say import this, and then we say confirm. All right, so I think here we'll say const, let's just call this one so it doesn't clash. We'll say confirm answer, something like that. So I'm going to await it, and I'm going to say confirm. Same thing is going to take message, and then we say, are you subscribed? So something like that. Are you subscribed? Right. So that's the question we want to ask the user. So we don't need this now. I think what we want to do is take off this. All right. Maybe we could do something with that soon, but for now we're just going to do this, and then we're going to say console.log. I'm just trying to give a quick overview of how this is going to work. Right. So confirm answer. So let's go back here in the command terminal, clear this, and say npm txc compile it. It's going to compile a new dist folder for us, and then we're going to say node dist /app, right, .js. So you see, are you subscribed, right? So we can say yes or no, right? So if I click yes, now let's just click enter. You see true. So we said yes, and then it gave us true, right? Now we could use that to our advantage, right? Now, look, if confirm answer, if they are subscribed, right? If the user is subscribed. So what do we want to do if the user is subscribed? So we can come here and say, here we'll say, thank you for subscribing to my channel. Come on. I am grateful. So look now here, this is if they are subscribed, right? Now, if they are not subscribed to the channel, what do I want to do if they're not subscribed, right? Now, if they're not subscribed, I want this now to appear. So I'm just going to come here quickly and do this. Let's hope this works. So I don't know. So now I want to say if they're not subscribed, right? Now I want to ask this question, right? I want to say, okay, I'm just going to ask the question, right? And then we could say, let's answer, right? So here, I'm just going to come here. So answer now is going to be there, and maybe do this back. Say, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. We assume they're not subscribed here, right? And then if they're not subscribed here, we want to say, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, right? So let's do that quickly, and then we'll go to the quiz part. So I'm just going to clear this. So npx txc, right? So now it's going to compile that, and then we're going to say node dist, right, /app.js, all right? Now, are you subscribed? Now, if I say no, so you see, what is your name? So I'm just going to say retry policy. Say, please subscribe to my YouTube channel called Retry Policy. I think this is already great, all right? Now, the thing I want to do now is the quiz. How do I want to set the quiz, right? So I think we should find a way to be able to, call quiz and, something whereby we can loop through an array of quiz and, get the user input, right? I don't think confirm will do that. I don't think search will do that, right? Not password. I think we could try no editor right now, maybe a raw list, and see how a raw list works. So let's go to the documentation quickly and see how that works. So quickly, I'm going to the documentation, and then we have a raw list. So we import it, and then so I have something like this already in my quiz. So raw list will be looking for your message, and it will also be looking for the name, right? And then the value, just like how checkbox just like how checkbox works, right? And then how input works. You need a value, so that value is going to be stored, and then the only thing I'm just going to add like an answer there. I have that in my quiz, so I didn't want this video to be too long, right? So that's why I quickly did all of that. So I'm just going to leave all of this here. So I have the quiz here. I have name, value, and then I have the answer. I called it quiz prompt, right? So it's called a quiz prompt. So I'm going to the quickly, I'm just going to come here and say raw list, right? And then right here, about here, we could say const. Now what we want to do is we want to feed in the whole thing. So if I say import, right, quiz prompt from my quiz, right? So I'm just going to import my quiz prompt, right? Now, this is an array of quiz. So we want to be able to look through it, right? And then when we look through the whole quiz, I think we should be able to store the answers, right? The answers should be like in an array, right? Say maybe we could use the for, right? For say const prompt, maybe of quiz prompt. Does this work? Right? So I can say console for now, console.log. So console.log prompt. Let's see what it gives us, right? So the whole point of this is me trying to learn it, so there's no harm in trying to do something if I forget it. So node, right, dist/app.js. So this is should leap. So this loops through and gives us all of it, right? So now this is what we want, right? Each of them now will become a prompt, right? So now I could do something like say let's or const answer. Maybe we could do an answer like an array answer, because what I want to do here is I want to say for each prompt I want to say, okay, so what we could do is say const, right, say answer equal to, so here I'm just going to come here and say current, maybe current answer, something like that. Current answer is going to be await, maybe await raw list, right? So remember, raw list takes two things. We take the message, right? That's an object, and then we take the choices, right? So here the message should come from the prompt, right, which is prompt dot message, right? And then the choice should be prompt dot choices, something like that. So we have this current answer now. So this should be, I think answer right now should be an array, right? So this is going to be like an array. So here now the type here is going to be a string of array, right? So we have a string of array here. So what we want to do is we want to say answer dot push. So we're going to push the current answer. So this should already be looking good. So while we're at that, I want to say console.log the answers array, right? So I'm just going to come here. So let's quickly clear this terminal. So clear this, all right? And then here we want to say npx, right? npx tsc, all right? Afterwards, then we want to say node, right, dist/app.js. This should already work. We see that it's already working, which is good. So now we see the first question. It says what does CLI stand for? If I go to the quiz, you say what does CLI stand for, right? So we could pick an answer here. I could say command line interface. It goes to the next one, right? What does CLI stand for? What language does Node.js run? Now the thing is maybe JavaScript. We are getting back the okay. Here, this is where the issue is coming from. So let's remove the console.log. You can see, let's clear this terminal again. Let me clear these. All right, so clear, oh my god, clear. All right, so npx txc, let's compile that again to TypeScript node. Right, so we want to go to dist app.js. Right, so now this should already give us a new one. So here I want to say the first question is command line interface, which is good. So what language does JavaScript run? I want to say JavaScript. We used cs.config, and here we use const. npm stand for node package manager. So we have the whole answers here. So what we could do now is we could work with the answer, right? So we could come here and say let's score. Okay, so let's initial score be 0, right? So you have no score. Initially your score is 0, right? Now we could come here and do something, right? A function that displays total score. Display total score. So this is going to display total score, right? So we're going to take in the array, say answer array, something like that. So we're going to take in the answers array, so the user answers, and then we're going to come here and say so we're going to loop through the quiz prompt. Okay, so quiz prompt dot for each prompt. Okay, so I'm going to loop through the whole quiz now. right? Now, when I do this, I also want to loop through the current answer because it's an array, right? Sorry, I want to loop through the answers here. So I'm just going to come here and say answer dot for each, right? For each user answer. So let's just put it like that. For each answer. Now I want to check if, right, if the prompt dot answer, so I have the answer here, equal to the answer at that instant. If it's correct, so I want to come here and say score plus plus, and then I want to return out of this, right? Else, if it's not, maybe we should just leave it like this and see how that works, right? So this is gonna be a string, an array of strings, right? So this, maybe I should just leave it like this and see how that works, right? So for now, this is gonna return the score to this. This is gonna return the score, right? So maybe what I want to do here is right now is say so this is gonna return the score. So I'm just gonna come here const user score. User score is equals to, so I'm going to say display total score, and now I'm going to pass the answer array to it. So we don't need to use that, we just need to come here and say user score right now, right? So let's go back here, clear the terminal. So I'm just going to clear this real quickly and then say npx txc. Let me open this because we're actually using the terminal. So npx txc, so I'm just going to come here and say node dist slash app.js. Right, so command line, let's fail one, code logic, let's fail this one, Python. Okay, so we failed 2 right now, and let's get this one. So txconfig, right, let's get this one. So we've gotten 3, so we gotten 4. So it says undefined, it's returning an undefined back to us, which is this, right? We don't know why it's going to be returning an undefined. I think I know why, guys. I think I know why, because literally we could just call this here, we could just call display total score, right? And then just pass the answer to it like this, right? And then here, rather than doing this, rather than doing any of this, we don't need to do this actually. What we need to do now is say score, right? So this is all we need, right? So I'm just going to clear this, right? So let's open this again, all right? So npx txc. So the next thing I want to do now is say node dist. I know people will say, why don't you just use a compiler? Why don't you just use node? But I'm trying to learn this thing the hard way. That's why I'm using this to, you know. So here we're failing this. We're failing this one also. We're failing this. So we failed 3 already. So let's get the remaining 2 correctly. This is correct. And this is also correct. So you see we've gotten 2 correctly, right? So now we could use that to our advantage. I'll come here and say const maybe I could do something here. Okay, so here I could say let's user message, right? So let's user message. So the user message, maybe initially you could just do like this, you know, let TypeScript know it's a string, it's gonna be a string, right? So then I'm just gonna come down here and say user message is equals to so user message is equals to, here I'm just going to return, all right? I'm going to return user message is equals to you scored, all right? You scored. So plus, now we want to use the score, okay, out of a total. You score 9 out of, get 9, lesson 3, score 3 out of. Now you're going to be quiz. Now here is going to be quiz prompt dot length. Okay, all right, then let's see if that works. So let's open this again, all right, and then say npx txc. Okay, so let's clear the terminal. So say node, right, dist slash app.js. Okay, so command line, we're gonna fail this, getting 1, we've gotten 2, and then we've gotten 3. So we got 3 there. 3 out of the box is good. All right, 3 out of the box is good. So now we don't want to show score no more. We want to show the user message. I'm just gonna come here, right now and say user message. Okay, so now we're displaying user message. So let's clear the terminal again. Right, so npx txc. So we say node test/app.js. So we've gotten 1, we've gotten 2, so we've gotten only 2 so far. Let's make it 3. So you scored 3 out of 5. Wow, that's amazing, guys. So if you've gained so this is how you do a command line using Inquirer from TypeScript, right? So pretty easy, basic things that will be working till we advance. So if you want to check out the documentation, you can go to this docs here. I'll be leaving it in the link in the description below, and then you could find a lot about it and read more about it. And yes, thank you guys. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you in the next video. Bye for now.